The Stoics understood this truth thousands of years ago. You control only your mind, your decisions, your attitude. Everything else is beyond your grasp. This is not cause for despair. It is the key to freedom. Napoleon Hill, centuries later, observed that every great achievement begins with a single, invisible seed, a definite purpose. But a purpose without mastery of the self is like a ship without a rudder. You may have a magnificent destination in mind, yet be at the mercy of every wave and wind. The union of these two truths is simple. Control your inner state, as the Stoics taught, your thoughts, your habits, your interpretation of events. Aim your controlled mind at a definite burning objective, as Hill urged. If you wish to build wealth, create art, heal others, or lead a movement, your first task is not to seek money, followers, or applause. Your first task is to train the commander within. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome, yet began each day reminding himself that he would meet selfish, deceitful, angry people, and that none of this could disturb his reason unless he allowed it. Hill advised his readers to close the door of the mind against fear and doubt, because these enemies are born inside, not outside. The discipline of thought. Imagine your mind as a fortress. Each morning the gates open. Thoughts from the outside rush in. News headlines, social media noise, the mutterings of coworkers, the doubts of friends. Without discipline, your mental courtyard fills with whatever wanders by. But if you set guards, questions like, is this thought useful? Does it serve my purpose? You admit only those ideas that strengthen your resolve. This guarding is not repression, it is curation. The Stoics practiced it through reflection and writing. Hill practiced it through autosuggestion, repeating to oneself the vision of what is to be. Both methods train the mind to dwell only on what leads forward. The fire purpose. A definite purpose is not a vague wish. I'd like to be happier is not a purpose. I will build a business that serves 1 million customers by creating tools that save them time is. Clarity transforms hope into a target. Hill insisted that the goal be written, visualized, spoken aloud daily until it sears itself into the subconscious. The Stoics would add, your purpose must be worthy of your highest self. If it corrupts your virtue, it will poison your soul. Accept the uncontrollable, command the controllable. Here lies the Stoic Hill synthesis. You cannot control whether the market dips tomorrow, but you can control whether you learn a skill today. You cannot control the weather, but you can control whether you work on your craft in spite of it. You cannot control other people's reactions, but you can control your own persistence. Every moment you act on what you can command, you build the habit of victory. To build your inner empire is to prepare the soil. Only then will the seeds of purpose grow into an enduring legacy. All progress begins with desire. Not the mild preference you feel when you say, it would be nice to have more money, or I'd like to travel someday. Those are fleeting sparks, and the first breeze of difficulty blows them out. The desire that transforms lives is closer to a raging fire, one that burns so hot it refuses to die, even when buried under months or years of setbacks. Napoleon Hill called it a burning desire. Without it, all other qualities, persistence, faith, discipline, have nothing to feed on. The Stoics, though wary of desires that enslave, understood the difference between shallow craving and noble ambition. Epictetus urged his students to desire only that which lies within their power, for such a desire can never be frustrated. Here's the balance. A Stoic desires outcomes rooted in virtue, improvement of character, mastery of skill, service to others, because these cannot be stolen by fortune. Hill's philosophy fuels those outcomes with emotional intensity, a passion so strong it becomes the organizing force of life. The two together form an unbreakable engine, a burning desire for a worthy purpose. From vague wish to definite target. Take a vague wish. I want to be financially free. The Stoic would ask, why? If the answer is to avoid fear of poverty, then you are driven by avoidance, not growth. That fear will haunt you even when you have millions. But if your answer is, because with financial freedom, I can spend my days creating works that uplift others, you have found a virtuous aim. Hill would then push you further. Define how much money, by when, and through what method. Write it, see it, say it daily. Let it invade your thinking until it is not a dream, but a plan. Desire as a decision. Many people believe desire is something you either have or you don't. But great achievers often choose their desire. They decide that a certain goal is worth their life's focus, and then they stoke the emotional fires to match. The Stoics cultivated this by meditating on the benefits of their aim and the costs of failure, not to paralyze themselves, but to sharpen commitment. Hill's technique of visualization works hand in hand with Stoic reflection. See the goal as if it were already accomplished. Feel the gratitude and pride as if you were living the result now. This conditions the mind to treat the goal as inevitable, and the subconscious begins to work in its favor, guarding the flame. The danger is that the fire of desire can be doused by criticism, by temporary defeat, or by the slow drip of everyday distractions. A Stoic accepts criticism without rage, learning from what is true and discarding what is false. Hill would remind you that temporary defeat is not permanent failure, it is feedback. Every obstacle carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit if you seek it. If your desire is definite, you will treat obstacles as the training ground for persistence. When Marcus Aurelius wrote that the impediment to action advances action, he echoed the same principle Hill would later share, that adversity contains opportunity. Both knew that the test of desire is not how it burns in fair weather, but how it survives the storm. Your next step: write your desire. Make it so specific that a stranger could understand it without asking a single question. Then, each morning, remind yourself not only what you want, but why, and ensure that why aligns with the best within you. A desire rooted in virtue, fed with focus and protected by persistence, becomes unstoppable. It is the heartbeat of all achievement. It is easy to start. The excitement of a new idea, the fresh energy of a plan, these feel like momentum. But starting is not where greatness is forged. The world is full of unfinished projects, half-built bridges, and dreams abandoned at the first sign of resistance. What separates those who achieve from those who fade is not talent, not luck, not even intelligence. It is persistence. Napoleon Hill wrote that persistence is to human character what carbon is to steel. Without it, the finest plans remain fragile. The Stoics knew persistence by another name: fortitude. The willingness to stand firm in the face of hardship, not because the outcome is guaranteed, but because standing firm is the right thing to do. Persistence is not blind stubbornness. The Stoic does not persist in error, nor does Hill advise you to continue down a road that leads nowhere. The key is to persist toward a worthy, clearly defined purpose. Adjusting tactics is necessary, but never abandoning the aim. When the initial fire fades, every endeavor has a middle where enthusiasm wanes. The novelty has worn off, but the finish line is still far away. This is the dangerous territory where most quit. The Stoics prepared for this by expecting it. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself each morning that the day would bring toil, boredom, and interruptions, none of which were cause to abandon the work. Hill offered a similar warning. Without persistence, desire withers into regret. When the fire dims, your habits must carry you. Habit is persistence on autopilot. A Stoic builds daily rituals to ensure progress even when motivation falters. Writing at dawn, training at the same hour, reflecting at night. Hill's technique is repetition, feeding the mind the vision daily so that action follows almost automatically. Facing the wall. There will be times when you face what seems like an immovable wall, a lost contract, a closed door, a betrayal. Here, Stoicism offers the principle of amor fati, love your fate, including the obstacles. This does not mean you celebrate injustice, but that you see in every obstacle the possibility for growth. Hill echoed this in his belief that every adversity carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. The wall is either a door in disguise or a call to find another path. Resisting the whisper of quitting. Quitting does not arrive as a shout. It arrives as a whisper. Maybe this isn't worth it. Maybe I should try something else. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. The Stoic answers, is this thought useful? If not, let it go. Hill answers, return to your definite purpose. Reignite the desire by reminding yourself of the vision and the reasons you began. Both would agree. If the goal still aligns with your values and you have not yet exhausted every method, you are not done. Temporary defeat is the tuition you pay for lasting success. Your next step, commit. Now to a simple rule. For the next 30 days, you will not quit on your goal, no matter the setbacks, unless it becomes clear that the goal itself is unworthy or corrupts your character. Review your desire daily. Take at least one step toward it every day, no matter how small. Persistence is built one deliberate act at a time. The path is not meant to be smooth. It is meant to be shaping you into the kind of person who can carry the success once it arrives. Fear is the thief of dreams. It does not always roar. Often it whispers in reasonable tones. Be careful. Don't take the risk. What if you fail? What will people think? Left unchecked, fear grows roots deep in the mind, wrapping around ambition until it suffocates. Napoleon Hill identified 6 basic fears that haunt most people: fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. The Stoics did not catalog fear in quite the same way, but they knew its essence. Fear is anticipation of future pain projected by the mind. It is a shadow, not yet reality. The Stoic answer was premeditatio malorum, to calmly imagine the worst that could happen and to realize that you can endure it. Hill's answer was to replace fear with faith. Faith in your ability, in your purpose, in the justice of your aim. Together, these two approaches form a shield: clear-eyed acceptance of life's risks and unwavering belief in your power to meet them. The fear of poverty. Hill observed that this is the most common fear, for it threatens survival and status. The Stoics remind us that wealth is a tool, not a master. Epictetus, who was born a slave, taught that true wealth is the ability to be content with little. If your mind is trained to live well on modest means, the fear of losing wealth loses its bite. From this position of strength, you can pursue financial goals without desperation. The fear of criticism. Many never attempt great things because they dread the opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius warned that we waste our lives worrying about people who will soon be dust, just like us. Hill's counsel was simple. Criticism is often a disguised compliment, proof that you are doing something noteworthy. The only criticism worth heeding is that which contains truth and helps you improve. The fear of failure. Fear of failure is often fear of discomfort, embarrassment, loss, effort wasted. But failure is a teacher the Stoics welcomed. If you act according to reason and virtue and fail, you still win, because you grow. Hill insisted that temporary defeat is the seed of success if you learn the lesson it offers. Both would agree. The only true failure is to stop trying without cause. Training against fear. Fear is not defeated in a single battle. It is trained out of you by repeated exposure to challenge. A Stoic seeks out voluntary hardship, cold showers, fasting, public speaking, to prove to the mind that it can endure discomfort. Hill taught autosuggestion, telling yourself daily, in clear and confident language, that you are capable of your aim. Each time you act despite fear, you weaken its grip. Your next step list. The fears that most often slow you down. Write them plainly, without shame. Then, for each, note the worst realistic outcome. Ask, could I survive this? Could I adapt? You will find, as the Stoics did, that life contains very little that is truly unbearable. From there, adopt Hill's method. State daily that you are moving toward your purpose with courage. Let your actions confirm it. Fear shrinks in the presence of purpose. The more definite and virtuous your aim, the less room fear has to dwell. No great achievement is purely the work of one person. The image of the lone genius may inspire, but it is largely a myth. Every leader, inventor, and builder stands on the shoulders of allies, mentors, and supporters. Napoleon Hill called this the mastermind principle, the coordination of two or more minds working in harmony toward a definite purpose. The Stoics, though less concerned with business strategy, understood the same truth. We are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids. A mastermind group is not merely a meeting or a collection of contacts. It is a deliberate alliance where each person contributes skills, knowledge, and perspective, united by trust and shared goals. Hill stressed the harmony element. Without it, the group's potential collapses under ego and conflict. The Stoic parallel. The Stoics valued the company of the wise. Seneca advised seeking friends who will make you better and avoiding those who encourage vice. The goal of a Stoic circle was moral growth. The goal of a Hill-style mastermind is both moral growth and material achievement. In truth, the two are inseparable. Without character, cooperation decays. Why a mastermind multiplies power. When two people discuss an idea in depth, they create a third, invisible mind. The shared understanding that neither could reach alone. Hill believed this collective intelligence could solve problems faster, spark creative solutions, and sustain persistence when one member falters. The Stoics would note that such cooperation guards against the blindness of pride. A wise friend can spot your errors and keep you aligned with virtue. Choosing your allies. The quality of your mastermind determines its value. Hill urged surrounding yourself with people who complement your strengths, fill your weaknesses, and share your level of commitment. The Stoics would add, choose those whose character you respect, even more than their talent. Allies who are skilled but corrupt will eventually poison the harmony. The harmony factor. Harmony is not the absence of disagreement. It is the presence of shared respect and common purpose. Disagreement in a mastermind can sharpen ideas, but only if all parties remain aligned on the goal. Hill warned that jealousy, gossip, or secret competition can destroy the alliance. The Stoics would call these vices signs of a poorly trained soul. Your next step: identify one or two people who already share your values and have skills or experiences that complement yours. Invite them into a deliberate partnership, whether that's regular strategy meetings, skill exchanges, or mutual accountability check-ins. Make the purpose clear. State openly that you seek harmony, not dominance. Over time, as trust deepens, your mastermind will become more than the sum of its members. The Stoics knew that no one can live happily who has regard to himself alone. Hill proved that no one can achieve greatly in isolation. The right alliance is not just a tool for achievement, it is a training ground for virtue, patience, and shared triumph. Philosophy and success principles mean little if they remain words on a page. The Stoics insisted that wisdom is proven by action, not by eloquence. Napoleon Hill, equally practical, urged his readers to turn ideas into daily habits that carry them toward their definite purpose. When we combine the two, we create a way of living where discipline and desire work hand in hand. This synthesis is not complicated. It is a framework for thinking, deciding, and acting that repeats every day until it shapes your life. 1. Begin with morning command. Before the world's noise floods in, take a moment to claim your mind. The Stoic writes down reminders. Today, I will meet challenges, but I control my response. Hill's student would read aloud their definite purpose, infused with feeling, until it stirs belief. In this moment, you decide what kind of day you will live, regardless of external events. 2. Focus on the controllables. Each day will tempt you with distractions and frustrations you cannot change. A Stoic's question, "Is this within my power?" becomes your filter. Hill's companion question, "Does this serve my purpose?" becomes your guide. Together, they keep your time and energy aimed at what matters. 3. Feed the mind with purpose. What you read, watch, and hear becomes the raw material of your thoughts. The Stoics warned against corrupt influences. Hill recommended surrounding yourself with positive, success-oriented ideas. Make it a habit to consume content that strengthens your resolve and keeps your vision vivid. 4. Practice. Deliberate persistence. Progress is often invisible in the short term. Hill would tell you to keep going until you succeed or find a better path. The Stoics would tell you that steadfastness is a virtue in itself. Combine them. Take at least one purposeful step each day, no matter how small, and track it to prove to yourself that you are moving forward. 5. Reflect and adjust at night. The day is not complete without examination. Marcus Aurelius reviewed his thoughts and actions each evening. Hill encouraged adjusting plans in light of new knowledge. Ask yourself, did I live according to my purpose? Did I act with virtue? What will I improve tomorrow? This keeps you honest and adaptable. 6. Guard the inner empire. You are the ruler of your inner world. Stoic discipline keeps your mind free from destructive emotions. Hill's definiteness of purpose directs that freedom toward achievement. Do not let fear, doubt, or anger occupy the throne. Every decision is a chance to affirm your sovereignty, a life lived in synthesis. A Stoic without a goal can become detached from achievement. A Hill disciple without virtue can win the world but lose his soul. But together, virtue guiding ambition, ambition energizing virtue, you build a life that is both admirable and effective. Your days will not be free of challenge, but they will be full of meaning. You will not avoid struggle, you will master it. And when you look back, you will see that you have not only achieved your purpose, you have become the kind of person worthy of achieving it.